Miketendo here with another wonderful episode of What Did Miketendo Get? You're probably wondering, where's my stack of games? Well, it's over here. And I wanted to show you guys I've got a bunch of really cool stuff that I picked up over the past couple months. So kind of wanted to share what I got. So here we go without further ado. Now I'm not sure if I actually showed anybody this, but my awesome girlfriend got me two gifts. One was this awesome shovel. The shovel from Shovel Knight, as you can see. It's really cool. It's 8-bit and it's like foam, like hard foam, and it's really cool. So she got this for me as a Valentine's Day gift, which was really super nice of her. And she also got me for my birthday Wizards and Warriors 3 Complete, because she knew that I was interested in possibly reviewing these games in the future. And so I have now the original trilogy, Wizards and Warriors 1, 2, and 3. I have 2 and 3 in the box. I just need the box and manual for the first game. But, so it's in pretty good condition. I mean, it's definitely, smoke-ridden. That's one of the first things I noticed when I opened it up. I was like, ooh, this belonged to a smoker. Some dryer sheets will fix that right up, but I just haven't put them in. So that's pretty much it as far as gifts from the girlfriend. So let's go ahead and show you the rest of the pile, and so you guys can take a look at the stuff that I actually picked up, and so you can see. Alright, so the first game is Banjo-Kazooie. Yes, I finally have a copy of this. Believe it or not, I have the manual for this game, but I don't actually have the card, but now I do. This one I picked up for pretty much retail price, or what video games price starting is asking, about $20, $22 on eBay. I've been buying a lot on eBay lately, mainly because I've done quite a bit of selling for games, so I figure why not, I'm making money off of stuff that I never play, so I may as well pick up some good stuff. So Banjo-Kazooie, very excited about this. Next game, Beetle Adventure Racing for the N64. Now if you listen to the podcast that is coming up for Pixel Tunes Radio, we played a track off of this game, and this is a really fun arcade racer. It's very honest and upfront about the fact that it's a VW Beetle, it's a Beetle Adventure Racing, so you're basically racing just Beetles, VW Beetles. And I'm not a big fan I talked about this in the podcast, I'm not a big fan of games like racing games where you have all these licensing and like the simulations and all that, and this is just a fun arcade racer. So if you like F-Zero and you like, Mario Kart and all that stuff, it's not like that, it's more San Francisco Rush, like that style of gameplay. So if you like those games, definitely check out Beetle Adventure Racing. It's pretty fun. There's a lot of really cool like little things and levels that you can find, and tons of secrets, and you can unlock all these different colors and cars and all these wacky things. So it's a really fun arcade racer. I definitely recommend checking it out. You can pick it up for the most part for like $5 at most stores. That is exactly the price that I paid, is $5. So I was very happy about the price I paid, and sticker in the cart is in good shape. Now this game, I cannot remember if I showed it or not. I don't believe that I did. This is a copy of Hellfire for the Sega Genesis. Now this I picked up really cheap. I think I got it for like $4 or something like that. And it is a really, really fun shooter. It's very similar, actually really reminds me of Zero Wing. So if you've played Zero Wing, it kind of reminds me of that. There's this really cool element in the game where you can cycle through your weapons, and you have them all like right off the bat. And so there's one where you can shoot like backwards, there's one where you can shoot up and down, there's one where you can shoot like diagonal, and it's really cool. So what's nice about the game is that it flows really well, it's got great music. It's really hard though, because you have to keep cycling through the various different weapons and the various different guns to decide, which one's going to work the best in various different areas. So I oftentimes find that the diagonal one works the best. Let me know if you played this game. It's actually worth quite a bit. I mean, a bit more than I paid. So check it out. Next game is Low G-Man on the Nintendo. This was actually recommended by one of our Pixel Tunes radio listeners, a guy named Cameron, and it is actually really good. I I don't want to give too much away because I may review it in the future, but it is an interesting game. Basically, you play as this character, Low G-Man, I guess you could say, and you go through the game, and you basically have to stun or freeze your enemies, kind of like the freeze beam in Metroid, and then you get this cool sphere that you could either do up or down, and that's how you kill enemies. And sometimes they drop items, and they drop sometimes useless items, other times helpful items. It's actually very tough. I don't know if it's the controls that limit it, but it's definitely recommended to pick it up. You can get it for less than like $10 in most cases. My copy I picked up for, I believe, $3. And then of course shipping, so approximately about $6, $7. I think I paid $8 tops for the game. It's pretty much worth about that. So I was very happy with the purchase. I wanted to get this game for a pretty long time. The problem that I find with this game is that this label generally tends to always be screwed up. I have not found a single copy that has had a mint clean label yet, including this one. This one was the cleanest I could find online. And if you look, without paying, an arm and a leg, where, stupid resellers mark them up to like $30 or $20 for the game when it's only worth like $5. So you can notice there's some numbers which you're probably going to barely be able to see. Usually, in most cases, the label itself is water damage. I don't know why, but I've come across at least 5 or 6 copies in game stores where the game was priced relatively well, $6, $5, whatever. But man, the label is just totally decimated, so I don't really understand why. It's kind of a mystery. Next game is actually a game that I found out about through Norm the Gaming Historian. He put up a video on it, and as soon as I saw the video, I was like, this game looks really cool. I should buy it right now before it jumps in price. And guess what? It did. So this is Conquest of the Crystal Palace, and it is actually pretty cool. This is a neat little game that I am just kind of, going through, playing through. It's really cool. He did a really thorough review, and I was thinking about doing a review myself on it, but he did such a good job that in most cases I try not to do reviews where I don't have anything else to say that somebody else hasn't said about the game. So, for example, like when I reviewed Astynex, I'm sure most, or Astynex or whatever, I'm sure people have reviewed that game before, but I had things that I could say about. That was way back in season 1. So I had that Greek mythology thing that I can kind of talk about. So if I don't have something special to talk about that nobody else has talked about before, I kind of feel like I'm just repeating everything that everybody else has said. So with Conquest of the Crystal Palace, it's kind of the same thing. I saw his review and was like, that was a really, really thorough review and an excellent review. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. I believe it's his latest review or his latest episode, but the game had doubled in price when I went back and took a look recently. So I picked it up for about $13 plus shipping. If I recall, oh no, I did buy it now and it was free shipping. So I got it for the price, the average price it was going for at the time, and right after his video, it just spiked. And I don't know if that's because you've got a bunch of people who are buying up the copies and then reselling them at double the value, or if it's people that are buying the copies and they're just like, I want this game, Norm reviewed it, it's really cool, I want it. And they don't care about the price, they're just jacking up the price or bidding on it, and it's going higher and higher. So I don't really know what the cause is, but it definitely spiked right after his video came out. So I'm not saying it's the reviewer's fault, it really isn't. They're just bringing information to you. So if the game gets out of control as far as the price goes, you have nobody to blame but the people who are buying the games. If you buy the game and you think it's gonna, like, I bought the game as soon as I saw it because I got lucky and I picked up the game before it jumped in value. Now that it's double the price, there's some people that may not want to buy it. And like, I'll give you an example. Derek Alexander did a review, Happy Video Game Nerd, way back when, did a review on Metal Storm. I've been wanting that game for a very, very long time to review it or just check it out. Like, I've played it before in emulators, it's a great game, but I want to own a copy of it, and now the game is up to almost $100. So it's like, and I saw it rise in price, and I was like, it'll drop, but it's just, the games are just going up and up and up. So anytime you see a review, if you think the game is cool, pick it up as soon as possible, because the people who are getting these, hundreds of thousands of views, like Norm and Angry Video Game Nerd and Happy Video Game Nerd, Pat the NES Punk, they're not influencing the price to increase, but they are contributing in a way to general interest. And I think because of that, the prices rise. But I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. Do you think that it's the reviewer's fault? Do you think it's the reseller's fault? Do you think it's the buyer's fault? Let me know what you think in the comments. Anyways, moving on. Adventure Island 3. Now this one I picked up, to be honest, retail. A little less than retail, actually. I think it was like 33 I picked it up for, 34, something like that. I picked it up at a game exchange. Just a really clean copy of the game. I mean, the label is just gorgeous, really clean label. The back cart is the original back cart, which this one has, it's got some additional information here that you don't usually see on most NES carts. Like if you compare Conquest of the Crystal Palace, which this back of this cart might have been swapped out, but if you look at it, it's only got a couple lines there. But when they re-release certain games, or when they release certain games, especially later on, this was a late game in the life cycle, if you look on there, there's some additional information that you don't see on a regular pack. So when you take a look at Low G-Man, here's the back of Low G-Man, it's pretty similar to most of the early carts that got released. So it's those later carts that got released that kind of have that additional information. So, I don't know, game's really clean, it's a fun game, it's a lot of fun. I booted it up and tried it out, and I played Adventure Island games before, but this one was really cool, so I definitely recommend, if you can find it on the cheap, get it. I basically was like, hey, it's a really clean copy of the game, it's a little less than retail, I think I'm going to go for it. And the game's only going to go up in value as far as this specific game goes, because it's getting harder to find. So you could find the first two, no problem, but the third one's getting a little bit more difficult to find. Speaking of games that are not difficult to find, wait, that's the opposite of what I just said. Black Belt for the Sega Master System. This was an eBay purchase. I tried to find this loose. I didn't want a complete copy. I mean, look at this art. Look at that. That's terrible. But I couldn't find a decent loose copy that was clean. So I picked up a complete copy for $10, and that was shipped. That was after ship. It's complete. It's a really difficult game. It's really hard. A lot of fun though. Music is great. One of the better Master System games I've played. It's very similar to Kung Fu on Nintendo. So if you've played that, you've pretty much played Black Belt. Then when you get to the boss, there's like the sprites get bigger, and it's more like, sometimes when you're playing certain games, when you get to a boss fight, the boss fight is completely different from the game itself that you played. So this is kind of the same thing. I couldn't get past the first boss, so I'd love to review this game in the future, but I don't think I'm going to be able to, because I just couldn't beat it. Secret of Mana. I've been searching for this one for a long time, and guess what? I'm still searching for it, because this is just the box and manual. I found this at a local game shop and was able to get a very good price. So a buddy of mine hooked me up with a really good price for this. It is just the box and manual. There is no game itself in here. But the box is really clean. I mean, if you take a look at it, it's in really, really good shape. He gave me a box protector and everything for it. Manual's in great shape as well. I'm not really going to pull it out of the box just because it's kind of a pain in the butt to get back in and everything. And you always want to try to limit the amount of pulling out and putting back in. That's what she said. Anyways, Secret of Mana, just the box and manual. I cannot say how much I got this for because I got a really fantastic deal, and I don't want him to get in trouble because I think he gave it to me for a price that's cheaper than what he should have given it to me for. I don't know, but he definitely gave me a really good deal on it. What I will say is it was under $40, and that's really all I can say. But the game itself, I would love to get at some point so I can actually fill this bad boy. I've been looking for it for a while. I'm hoping to get it soon. So, yeah, that's it. I don't know. Got not much else to say. It's just a box and manual. So, moving on. Next game is Space Invaders Extreme for the DS. I got this for $5. Totally worth it. Why are these DS games so hard to open? So actually I got this for $5.95. That is the exact price that I paid for it. So Space Invaders Extreme is a really crazy, really cool game. It's kind of like what they did with the Pac-Man CEDX games that came out, except this one actually got a physical release. There was a sequel for it as well. I'd like to pick that one up in the future. It's really cool, really fun game. I do definitely recommend it if you're looking for an awesome, crazy arcade shooter with over-the-top, 2D, throwback graphics and with, enlarged sprites and stuff like that. It's really cool stuff. All right, now our last game, meaning I have one other thing to show you. My last game is Lupin the Third: Treasure of the Sorcerer King. Or Sorcerer King? Sorcerer King? Yeah, Sorcerer King. It's really hard to say. Sorcerer. Anyways, so I'm a big fan of the Lupin the Third movies. I haven't seen a lot of them, but the ones I have seen are really good, like Castle of Castigliaro or whatever it's called. That one's really good. There's a couple of others, and the TV shows are really good too. I wish they would come out with just like a conglomerate of, just like every movie on DVD, just like a big giant collection, just so I could buy that and just blow through watching all of them. This game I have played before. It's kind of like you're solving puzzles and you're gathering clues and stuff like that. But it's essentially based on the Cartoon Network show that was on Adult Swim a little while back. So it's really cool. The soundtrack and the music is actually really good. So it's definitely a cool game. This was about $10. Let me double check. Yeah, $9.95. So definitely worth picking up. I would recommend that you add it to your PS2 collection if you're looking for a game. This did not come out on anything else but the PS2, if I recall. So it never got a GameCube or I almost said Saturn. Whoa. It did not get a GameCube or Xbox release, so it just came out on the PS2, so it is exclusive to that system. So really cool. All right, the last thing that I got is not a game, but it is something that I want to show you guys, so I'm going to actually pick up the camera. Now, the camera lighting, as you can see, is very bright here, but I'm going to actually show this to you. It is really cool, and it's by a friend of mine who I'm going to talk about in a second after I show it, so I will be right back here in just a moment, but I want to go ahead and show you what I got.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
All right, now you guys have seen this painting before. You've seen it in my videos. You've seen it, I've showed you guys way back when I first got it. A buddy of mine does these paintings. His name is Square Painter. His name's Adam Shub. Really talented, obviously really talented, amazing stuff that he does. And I wanted to show off a painting that I recently finally picked up. I've been working on paying off the painting for quite a while now. He's been holding it for me for quite some time. Ended up trading a game and like a kind of expensive game along with quite a bit of money. I'm not going to go into detail about the price, but these paintings are totally worth it. I mean, this is capturing a moment in a video game that you can't capture with just like a poster, and they're just so well done. And he's one of the first guys that was doing this for a long time. I mean, there were other people right around that time who were doing it as well, or maybe just before or just after. But you guys should check out his channel. I'm gonna post it in like down here somewhere. So check it out. It'll be in like the README section, so you can go check out his paintings. He does sell on Retroware, I believe. So definitely check it out. So anyways, here's the painting. So the reason why I have the lights turned down low is because, and just so you can get a scale as to how big the painting is, this is the painting, this is the other painting, which is a lot bigger, and this is this one. So it's pretty decently sized. It's not as big as that one. But the reason why I have the lights down is because of the black. The black reflects off of the light, so you can really tell if you pull back, it looks even better. And if you go really up close, you can see the black here. I mean, it's really hard to paint black on canvas, but
It's really cool.
So that's it. That is everything that I got. So definitely check out Adam's work. He does, as I was saying before, sell on retrowaretv.com. So you can check out his paintings there. He goes to a ton of conventions. So if you're on the East Coast, he primarily goes to East Coast conventions. He does venture out west sometimes. But he's been a buddy of mine for a long time. He does some excellent work. His channel is mainly like speed paintings, where he does those paintings and some of the other little ones that I also have. And so he does those. And then he kind of talks about them as well. He also has this really cool like review thing that he does where he discusses the art in games, in like specific games. So he does a lot of really cool stuff like that. So definitely check out his channel and subscribe to it. He does some great work, and I think that his channel goes kind of underappreciated because he does a lot of work with all these paintings. And if you do go to a convention, tell him I sent you guys because he'll love that. So that's all I got for today. I'm going to be actually really continuing to work on the new Dude You Haven't Played This Game, so you guys will see that very shortly. There's also a new episode of Pixel Tunes Radio, which I talked about a little bit. That's going to be out the normal time, Wednesdays, so you can check it out on iTunes or check it out right here on youtube.com/dongold. That's all I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned, more on the way.